Disabled workers at Amazon are accusing the company of engaging in systemic discrimination, as well as aggressively quashing their attempts to try to organize with each other, disabled workers, organizing on behalf of other disabled workers. And not only that, but they've also been accused of using artificial intelligence. Here we go. That they allege do not comply with disability laws like the ADA. They said the company has denied requests for reasonable accommodation in an automated or semi automated way and have allegedly repeatedly removed messages and a petition from an employee's Slack channel. A May 31st letter sent on behalf of a group of more than 200 disabled workers to top executives, including Amazon chief executive Andy Jassy, claimed that the company was fundamentally out of step with the federal requirements under the ADA. And again, a lot of this has to do with the return to the office mandate. Now, the letter cited policies related to that, in which the letter said that they were being pushed on disabled workers who had been previously allowed to work from home based on doctors' recommendations, accommodation procedures, and accessibility. Among other issues, it also raised concerns that employee decisions around accommodation were being driven by AI, which again does not follow ADA rules. One disabled corporate employee, and this is all mainly in the corporate offices, okay, not in the warehouses, who had feared retribution for coming forward about these workplace complaints, told The Guardian that they had been fired without explanation over the course of being interviewed for this particular story. So I don't know. I don't know if somebody got wind of this at Amazon and were like, oh, we got to get rid of this guy or gal, depending on who it is. We got to get rid of this person because they are spilling to the press. I don't know. This person said, after the removal of the messages on Slack and my firing, others are now afraid. Yes, retaliation. That's how that works. I talked with them and they're terrified about Amazon doing this, the person said. The employee who was fired was one of the leaders of a campaign to organize disabled workers. An email the person sent to senior Amazon managers on June 6th, which was seen by The Guardian, accused the company of violating federal labor rules that ensure rights to collective bargaining, which they don't like at Amazon, and disability-related rights to share information with others who have a disability. My Slack access, they say, was removed, preventing me from sending updates, coordinating, and engaging in NLRB protected activities, the person said. The Guardian also was provided screenshots of Slack and messages and a petition that appears to have been removed from an Amazon employee Slack channel on disability and accessibility issues. Now, accusations are one thing, but they got screenshots, and now Amazon is like, yeah, we removed those messages, we removed those, yeah, we got rid of all that stuff. Why? Well, the company says, well, they're a violation of company policy. Which company policy? Apparently, solicitation? Really? Solicitation. Again, this is disabled employees trying to get together to advocate for other disabled employees. And that, Amazon is like, breaks our rules. Solicitation. Gotta get rid of it. Sorry. Now, Amazon did dispute the claims that it had retaliated against these employees for seeking to organize on labor issues. Really? They dispute that. Of course they did. In the 33-page letter to Jassy and other senior Amazon executives, the disabled workers alleged that systemic discrimination, retaliation, and policy failures documented here not only violate the ADA, but also erode trust, harm individual health, and compromise the company's integrity. We demand immediate action to reform these policies, foster a truly inclusive workplace, which, of course, Amazon is like, of course, yeah, we're very, very inclusive. What are you talking about? Yeah, hey, we actually hire disabled employees, so what are you talking about? And uphold the rights of all employees. The letter cited internal polls conducted by the group of Amazon employees, which 93% of respondents with disabilities claiming that current policies have harmed them. Another 71% of respondents claimed that more than half of their job accommodation requests had been denied or were unmet, and 92% reported a lack of an accessible job accommodation process. Employees requesting accommodations often encounter a lack of meaningful dialogue. Requests are ignored, denied without explanation, or dismissed via automated systems. Now, of course, Amazon has denied all of this, but you know what? I don't believe them. I don't believe them at all. Amazon is not a good company to work for. They do not treat their employees very well, especially if you're in the warehouses, but also in the corporate building, okay? Workers who spoke to The Guardian on the condition of anonymity were particularly angry about their claims that efforts to organize on Slack were being denied and suppressed. The company is cracking down, and they're very concerned, and many people are being told not to post here, claimed one Amazon employee. Another employee who no longer works there claimed management had dismissed disabled workers' complaints as being, quote, disruptive and unproductive. Oh, of course. And it undermined the first ever corporate union collective bargaining group. Here's the thing. The corporate world hates people with disabilities. They do. I think that should be very, very clear to everyone. Okay? They do not want to accommodate anyone. And the fact that they're allegedly using AI to shut down requests for, again, reasonable accommodation is because they want people to stop making those requests. If they just get ignored enough by these automated systems, then I guess they'll stop making them, right? Again, this reminds me of United Healthcare, who also was caught using AI to deny customer claims. I know, different industry, right? And different usage, but also kind of similar. I mean, you're denying people their rights for claims, and you're also when it comes to Amazon, denying reasonable accommodation requests, which again should be guaranteed by law. But here's the thing: I do not think that anyone should be surprised that those two corporations and many others, I'm assuming, use AI for things like this, to deny care, to deny accommodations, they already use them, of course, to deny job seekers, in any sort of you send an application to a company, very, very likely, most likely, you're going to be met with an AI denial, an AI generated denial. Even if they have an open position or claim to have an open position, it's very likely that your application is never going to reach a human being. Very, very rare. Very rarely. Okay. And so that's what's going on here. So look, here's the thing. They don't want to do reasonable accommodation. Why? Because, well, it could cost money, for one. And it could also give disabled employees the freedom to work from home. Now, why would that be a problem? Well, because if they can work from home and be just as productive, if not more productive, then, if they were in the office, that might get other people to be like, hey, wait a minute. Why can't I work from home? Why do I have to show up to the office? If you could be just as productive working from home, then why are you making me show up? That's why they're really cracking down. They want people in the office so they can micromanage them. They can watch them like a hawk. They can prevent them from realizing that working from home is a viable option that actually does nothing to lower your productivity. Again, for many, it actually makes people more productive, allows people to be more productive. And they don't have to sit there, because some people have to commute for, an hour, if not longer, each way to go to work. So you're spending a couple of hours just getting to work. And then, of course, some people do not respond very well to the loud office, areas, and work better sometimes on their own in an office, a home office. It just all depends on the person and their living situation. Okay. But yes, it can make a lot of people more productive. But the companies don't want you to know that. They also don't want to accommodate the disabled. According to a 2023 report by United for Respect, Amazon's warehouse workers had faced systemic barriers in obtaining reasonable job accommodation for disabilities or for the workplace injuries at the company. That, again, in the warehouses specifically, especially, there were a lot of injuries. And in 2024, a lawsuit was filed against Amazon for allegedly failing to provide a sign language interpreter to deaf employees at a warehouse in California. Amazon, of course, denied the claim. Pamela Hayter, a former Amazon employee, accused Amazon in 2023 of retaliating against her for advocating for remote work in response to Amazon's return to office mandate. Amazon, of course, claimed that, oh no, she had performance issues. Oh, so that's why you let her go. Oh, yes, performance issues. The go-to response when you want to make somebody who is inconvenient, who could cause you problems in litigation, to disappear. Of course. Of course. Look, at the end of the day, I hope these workers get a win. Not only for accommodation, of course, but also against the widespread use of AI like this. I mean, working from home, more people should be allowed to do it. Of course, the reasons that people, that these companies don't want to allow people to work from home, as I already mentioned, they want to micromanage their employees, but also you have these, big corporate buildings owned by real estate companies that want people to be in the office, to show up. And so they can continue to charge these companies massive amounts of rents. And so we're working together to try to prevent work from home from happening. And so there's all of that. But again, these companies, I don't think they're going to lose. Knowing the courts right now and knowing how much money Amazon has spent and will continue to spend lobbying, buying off our politicians, and of course the makeup of the Trump National Labor Relations Board, I'm not optimistic. I'm not optimistic for a win, but nonetheless, I hope against hope that they will pull out some sort of a win. But if they don't, unfortunately, it's just going to continue to set disability and labor rights back even further, which would not be a surprise considering where we have gone as a country under this Trump regime. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.